Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on the 1989 Ford Bronco. In the last video, we kind of cleaned up the vehicle, found some odds and ends, chains, wigs, you name it. There was kind of a little bit of everything in there, cassettes. In this episode, we're planning on removing seats, bench seat, center consoles, carpet, some other miscellaneous brackets. That way we can inspect the actual floor pan of the truck itself to make sure there's no structural rust. But yeah, hopefully you enjoy this. So in this section right here, I was just removing the bolts from the seats. I got a little bit confused by it because I'm used to other vehicles, newer vehicles from 95 upwards. Most of them use just the standard bolts for the seats. This one uses studs and nuts. So I thought the bolt was snapped off, but as you see, I figured that out right there that it was not. And then moving on to the front, one of the bolts was already out of the seat, but it was just sitting in the hole, which that's kind of neat. And there was definitely more trash to be found inside the Bronco. Don't drink and drive. You don't want to be on police happenings.
Shout out!
Definitely had a lot of fun doing this video. It took quite a few days to do. I thought it would be a lot quicker, but I ran into a lot of small little issues with nuts breaking, bolts breaking, screws not coming out. Yeah, so ended up using grinders, drills, you name it. Wow, look at the color of the carpet there. Probably has not seen daylight in a long time. Maybe it's never seen daylight since the day this vehicle was built. Some of the hardware on the vehicle was extremely tight. There was a lot of surface rust on the bolts. Surprisingly, not too much rust on the actual body itself, on the interior. Exterior is a different game. Also, on a side note, I do not recommend using a drill for removing nuts, bolts. They don't have a slip factor to them. And yeah, I did learn on the last seat I took out, the passenger side. But I did continue to use it just because it made my life just a little bit easier. But not recommended. It can definitely hurt you. You can kind of see a little bit of the rust on some of the seat rails there. It's pretty much a common issue throughout the whole truck. I did use compressed air to blow out certain things like these screw holes because there was really no good way to get to them. So compressed air was perfect doing this task. But as we move forward, you'll see more of the trouble bolts and screws that I started having. This was probably one of the first ones. So I had to drill the head off the screw. And yeah, that was my excitement for that day. Not really, I think I ended up pretty much removing the majority of the interior. You can see that was my little win right there. Not always does it go perfectly to plan, but you know, you sometimes win, sometimes lose. I did unfortunately drill into the plastic because I couldn't really see what I was doing. I was trying to work around the camera, which, well, now I know. Just move the camera. But, you know, little things. What really amazes me is how much dirt is in this truck. It doesn't look that bad, but I did post a picture on Facebook of the garage floor, and yeah, it's pretty rough. But the end of the day, at least that's sweepable. So, funny little story about the tool I'm using right now. The Torx bit there took me probably 30-ish minutes to find. I don't use them very often, and to be honest, I don't keep my toolbox probably as organized as I should. But yeah, probably about 30 minutes to find that. So that was unfortunate. This little piece here, oh man, it really annoyed me. I tried to drill the screw heads off, but I didn't have a good enough drill bit. So unfortunately that piece was already damaged, so I just ended up pulling it the rest of the way off because those screws are just held in by little plastic clips anyway underneath. So we can just replace that. I will say after taking this carpet out, I wanted to shower so bad. Between sweat and all the sand and dust and grime, I was pretty much over it. Interesting little fact, in these old Fords, they use pieces of wood to fill in the voids in the floor pan. And yeah, it's pretty interesting engineering they did back then. Definitely has come a long way. And yeah, I decided to clean up the carpet with pressure washer and some Dawn dish soap. I was curious if it would actually clean up, which you'll see here in a moment. I was actually really surprised how well the carpet turned out, given how bad it was. I mean, it had moss growing in the carpet, which, I was expecting the carpet just to kind of disintegrate, to be honest with you. These bench seats actually come out super easy. I was quite surprised. It's just held in by two little pins. I did have to struggle with this one a little bit because there was quite a bit of rust on the bracket on that side for whatever reason. Yeah, I mean, overall not too bad. I did end up breaking 2 bolts on that bracket when I was trying to move it. Even with using PB Blaster, some ATF, I tried a little bit of everything really on it. but the corrosion on the bolts, it basically welded itself to the body of the truck. And the same with this. I actually had to end up grinding this one off because this was a Torx bit. And I'm thinking at some point someone actually did remove this and they stripped it completely out. So I resorted to power tools and hammer, you know, the good stuff. I did burn the carpet just a little bit, which is fine. I plan on putting like a metal plate down there. That way, in the future, we don't get tire marks on the carpet. And also cover up that damage on the carpet there too. Here I am cleaning up the rear half of the back carpet. This one did not clean up nearly as well. It has probably had some fluid of some form spill on it, probably transmission fluid. So some of the carpet was eaten right through to the backing of the fabric material. So it's a shame, but I'll probably end up putting like a WeatherTech style mat back here to protect everything anyway. So not too concerned about it. This isn't going to be a perfect vehicle by any means, but I'm enjoying it and it'll be a fun vehicle to own. And I'm sure some of you have noticed I wear flip-flops like throughout the whole video. It's pretty much to me is one of the most comfortable footwear items to wear if I'm not working somewhere where I have the potential to hurt myself. So I appreciate everyone who stayed and watched the video throughout the whole video. I appreciate that a lot. And I'm looking forward to making the next video. That should be out pretty soon too. But alright, catch you guys next time. Bye now.